Welcome back to Chrono Tales, where childhood memories turn into nightmares. I'm your host, and tonight's story will make you think twice about those innocent toys watching from your shelves. This is the terrifying tale of The Doll That Watches. They say that children's toys hold memories. Laughter, tears, whispered secrets shared in the dark. But what happens when those memories aren't all innocent? What happens when something else starts listening and watching back? Sarah Chen had always been drawn to antiques, but it was her 7-year-old daughter Lily who spotted the doll at the weekend yard sale in October 2022. The elderly woman running the sale, Mrs. Henderson, seemed eager to get rid of it.
Mommy, look! She's so pretty!
The doll was indeed beautiful. A vintage porcelain piece with golden curls, rosy cheeks, and the most realistic blue eyes Sarah had ever seen. The dress was hand-sewn lace, yellowed with age but still elegant.
That doll belonged to my granddaughter, Emily. Sweet child, passed away 5 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you sure you want to sell it?
Needs to find a new home. Emily would want another little girl to love her.
What Mrs. Henderson didn't mention was why the doll had been locked in the attic for 3 years, or why Emily had started having nightmares 2 weeks after receiving it for her 8th birthday, or why, on the night Emily died in her sleep, the doll was found sitting upright in the chair across from her bed, though it had been lying down when her parents tucked her in. Sarah paid the $20 and helped Lily carefully place the doll in the back seat. As they drove away, neither of them noticed Mrs. Henderson watching from her window, her face etched with what looked like relief and guilt.
What should I name her, Mommy?
What do you think she looks like?
She looks like Isabella, like a princess.
If Sarah had looked in the rearview mirror at that moment, she might have seen something that would have made her turn the car around immediately. The doll's eyes, which had been looking straight ahead, had shifted to stare directly at Lily. Isabella, as Lily had named her, quickly became her favorite toy. The doll sat in the place of honor on Lily's bedroom dresser, watching over her as she played, did homework, and slept. At first, Sarah was delighted. Lily had always been a shy child who struggled to make friends at school. But with Isabella, she blossomed. She would have tea parties, tell elaborate stories, and even include the doll in her bedtime prayers.
Isabella says she likes our house. She says it's much nicer than her old room.
Her old room?
The dark place where she couldn't see anything. She was so lonely.
Sarah assumed Lily was referring to the attic where the doll had been stored. Children had such vivid imaginations. But on Thursday night, 3 days after bringing Isabella home, Sarah heard something that made her pause outside Lily's bedroom door.
I know you can hear me. Mommy can't see you move, but I can. Will you be my friend forever? You nodded. I saw you nod.
Sarah quietly pushed the door open a crack. Lily was sitting up in bed, facing the dresser where Isabella sat. The doll appeared motionless, but in the dim light from the hallway, Sarah could have sworn its head was turned slightly toward Lily.
Lily, who are you talking to, sweetheart?
Isabella. She's telling me about her friend Emily. They used to have tea parties too.
Sarah walked over to the dresser and examined the doll. Isabella stared straight ahead with those unnaturally blue eyes, her expression serene and innocent. But Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. She was almost certain the doll had been facing the window when she'd tucked Lily in an hour earlier.
Time for sleep now, honey. Isabella needs her rest too.
She doesn't sleep, Mommy. She watches over me all night to make sure I'm safe.
That night, Sarah had trouble sleeping. Every sound in the house seemed amplified. The settling of wood, the whisper of wind through the trees, the soft creak of floorboards. At 2:17 a.m., she woke to the sound of Lily's voice drifting down the hallway.
Really? You lived here before? In the walls? What do you mean, other children?
Sarah rushed to Lily's room and found her daughter sitting cross-legged on her bed, having an animated whispered conversation with Isabella. But when Sarah flicked on the light, Lily blinked in confusion.
Mommy, what's wrong?
Who are you talking to?
Nobody, Mommy. I was sleeping.
Sarah looked at Isabella. The doll sat exactly where it had been placed, but its dress seemed slightly disheveled, as if it had been moved. More disturbing was the faint warmth emanating from the porcelain, as if the doll had been held close to someone's body. The next morning, while Lily was at school, Sarah decided to research the doll's history. She started with Mrs. Henderson, but when she called, she discovered the elderly woman had been admitted to a nursing home the day after the yard sale. Sarah drove to Willowbrook Care Center, where she found Mrs. Henderson in the common room, staring out a window with vacant eyes.
Mrs. Henderson? I'm Sarah Chen. I bought a doll from your yard sale last weekend.
You didn't buy Isabella, did you?
Isabella? Yes, that's what my daughter named her.
Oh God, I should have burned it. I should have burned it when Emily died, but I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Mrs. Henderson, you're scaring me. What's wrong with the doll?
Emily started talking to it the first night we brought it home. Said it told her stories about other children. children who had lived in our house before we moved in. Then she started sleepwalking, having nightmares, waking up with scratches on her arms.
Mrs. Henderson pulled out a faded manila folder from her purse. Inside were newspaper clippings, medical records, and photographs.
That house, our house, it was built in 1923. 7 children died there over the years. Accidents, illnesses. 1 disappeared entirely. Emily found out about them somehow, even though we never told her.
How could she have known?
The doll told her. I thought she was making it up, but she knew their names, their ages, how they died, things that weren't in any public records.
Sarah looked at the photographs Mrs. Henderson had collected. They showed children from different eras. A boy from the 1930s who had fallen down the stairs, twin girls from the 1950s who had died of scarlet fever, a teenager from the 1980s who had committed suicide in the basement.
The night Emily died, I found her room completely rearranged, furniture moved, toys scattered everywhere, like there had been a party. But Emily was just lying there, peaceful as could be, heart failure, the doctors said, but she was perfectly healthy.
Where did the doll come from originally?
Estate sale in 1998. Belonged to the Morrison family. Their daughter Rebecca owned it until she disappeared in 1987. Never found her body.
Sarah felt ice forming in her stomach. She thought about Lily's conversation the night before, about Isabella living in the walls, about other children.
I have to go. I have to get home.
Don't let your daughter sleep alone with it. Whatever you do, don't let her sleep alone.
Sarah drove home in a panic, breaking every speed limit. She called Lily's school and asked them to keep her daughter in after-school care until she could figure out what to do with the doll. When she arrived home, Sarah marched straight to Lily's room, determined to get rid of Isabella immediately. But when she opened the bedroom door, she froze in terror. The doll was not on the dresser where it belonged. It was sitting in the middle of Lily's bed, surrounded by all of Lily's other toys arranged in a perfect circle. They were all facing inward, as if attending some kind of meeting. Sarah approached the bed slowly. Isabella's blue eyes seemed to track her movement, though Sarah knew that was impossible. The doll's expression looked different somehow, less innocent, more knowing.
This is ridiculous. It's just a doll.
She reached out to grab Isabella, but the moment her fingers touched the porcelain, the room temperature dropped 20 degrees. Frost began forming on the windows, and Sarah could see her breath in the suddenly frigid air.
Don't take me away from Lily. She needs me.
The voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere, not from the doll's motionless lips, but from the air itself. Sarah pressed herself against the wall, her heart hammering in her chest.
This isn't real. This isn't happening.
I've been alone for so long. Emily was my friend, but she left me. Lily won't leave me. We're going to be together forever.
The toys surrounding Isabella began to move on their own, repositioning themselves into different arrangements. Sarah watched in horror as her daughter's stuffed animals formed letters on the bed. M-I-N-E. The bedroom door slammed shut. Sarah grabbed the handle and pulled, but it wouldn't budge. She was trapped in the room with the doll and its supernatural fury.
You want to separate us. But Lily chose me. She loves me more than she loves you.
She's my daughter. You can't have her.
The laughter filled the room, seeming to bounce off the walls and multiply. Sarah covered her ears, but the sound penetrated straight through to her bones.
We are many. We are the children who came before. We are lonely. We want to play.
Sarah realized with growing horror that Isabella wasn't just possessed by one spirit. She was a collector, gathering the souls of children who had died in houses where she'd lived. And now she wanted Lily to join them. Sarah's phone buzzed with a call from Lily's school. Somehow the sound broke whatever supernatural hold had trapped her in the room. The door swung open, and she stumbled into the hallway.
Mrs. Chen, we can't find Lily. She was in after-school care, but when we checked 10 minutes ago, she was gone. Her backpack is still here.
Sarah raced back to the school, her mind reeling with possibilities. Had Lily somehow gotten home without her knowing? Was she hiding somewhere, scared by whatever supernatural event had occurred in her room? But when Sarah arrived at the school, she found Lily sitting calmly in the principal's office, coloring with crayons. The secretary looked confused.
She was here all along. I don't know how we missed her.
Isabella came to get me, Mommy. She said we needed to go home and pack.
Pack for what, sweetheart?
For our trip. Isabella says there's a house where lots of children live, and they want me to come play with them forever.
Sarah knelt down and looked into her daughter's eyes. For just a moment they seemed different, older, as if something ancient was looking back at her through Lily's innocent gaze.
Lily, we're going home, and we're going to have a talk about Isabella.
That night, while Lily slept in Sarah's bed, Sarah took Isabella outside to the backyard fire pit. She had researched how to destroy cursed objects, and every source said the same thing. Fire was the only way to break the connection. As the flames consumed the antique doll, Sarah heard voices in the wind. Children's voices, crying out in what sounded like relief rather than anger. One by one, they faded away, finally free to move on to whatever came next. Lily cried for 3 days, asking for Isabella. But on the 4th day, she made a friend at school, a real friend, made of flesh and blood instead of porcelain and malevolent spirits. Sarah never told Lily what had really happened to Isabella. Some stories are too dark for young ears. But sometimes, late at night, she still checks to make sure all of her daughter's toys are exactly where they should be. And that concludes tonight's tale. Remember, not all childhood companions have your child's best interests at heart. Sometimes the most beautiful gifts come with the highest price, and the most patient evil waits behind the most innocent eyes. Sweet dreams, and keep an eye on what's watching you from the shelves.